Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed. Back with the boys. You know how the drill is. Baron, myself, B Dub. How we doing today?
I'm doing all right.
We doing all right? We're doing all right. You know who's
Doing
doing
all
all
right.
right?
Who's doing all right?
Brock Purdy's doing all right. I mean, that
Uh,
contract. Yeah, you're sitting all right if you get a contract like that.
he wasn't the only one.
Hey, somebody on your side got a new contract as well.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. But Fred Warner was also made the NFL's highest paid linebacker today. So
Deservedly so.
two
Deser-
what'd you say? Sorry.
Deservedly so. Like
Oh no,
deservedly.
yeah, no, he deserves that money. Absolutely. No credit, all credit to him. But for a team trying to win a championship, Brooks, um, why are we giving, what is he, like 35, 36? He's old. He's really old. I don't know how old he is. Actually, I want to be correct. How old
Which
is
doesn't
Fred
happen
Warner?
often. So
Fair enough. He's 28. Okay, so I'm really stupid. Um, but regardless, he's old. I mean, he's up there in age.
Jeez! Yo, reputation down the drain, bro.
All right, well, I thought he was a lot older. He looks a lot older, so my bad.
Wow, what a
Still,
horrible pull. What a horrible pull.
I mean, 28 is still not a great age to give out that much money, but it's certainly
Yeah, it is.
it's
Yeah,
not
it
as
is.
it's not as bad as 35. No,
It's
I
not
think
bad at all.
prime age to be forking out highest paid position of all time
Exactly.
money is 26, in my
No,
humble
he's right in his
opinion.
prime, baby. That's how contracts work here. He got
All
his
right.
bag. He's doing his thing. Shout out Fred Warner. Shout out Brock Purdy for the big deal. Um, we know if any P1 listeners are here, we know your stance on Brock Purdy, just like many people in the football community, is that you hate this man.
Okay. You
So
know what? Hate is a strong word. Um,
I think it might be
I
the
would
right
say
word in this situation.
I would say strongly doesn't believe in. How about that?
I would say hate. I
Okay,
don't know.
no.
Is
No,
there a team?
yeah,
No, is
hate is reserved for someone like Jason Tatum.
no. Besides the Cowboys, you might hate you actually might hate the 49ers more than the Cowboys from how
Oh,
much I've heard you
no,
talk.
no, okay, that might be true too, but that's not because of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's
But
an
you hate Brock Purdy. I mean, hate. I gotta
no,
bring up
see,
the old
hate
clips, man. I gotta bring up the old
you can do
clips.
that. I still think hate's a strong word. I just think let's just say strongly preying on downfall. How about that?
Sure, strongly
Okay.
preying on the downfall, but
I mean, great. I think he's better than I actually think he's better than a lot of most people think because a lot of people just think he's just some schmuck who just got thrown into a great offense. I actually do think he's better than like Mr. Irrelevant. I think he was if we redrafted, I think he probably would have go in the third or fourth round as a quarterback. But he doesn't deserve to be making this kind of money. All right, this is kind of insane. I won't lie, but. You said we were gonna move things over to the other side. Let's talk about that other contract
let's flip
extension.
that coin from the NFL to the
No,
NBA.
no, no. Let's talk about
Whoa,
the other contract extension that came
you
out
were supposed to
today.
get to that already.
I'm going to right now. The
It should take
Philadelphia
30,
Eagles
10
decided that
seconds. 10 seconds.
they decided that it would be smart to re-sign the best head coach in the NFL. So that's what they did. Put him to a long-term deal, and we're going to win multiple Super Bowls under him. So, all right, let's go to the NBA.
I know
So
Howie Roseman would have coached.
yesterday the like I predicted the what are they called? Oklahoma City Thunder
What are they
beat
called?
the Denver Nuggets
That's
in
what the teams are called.
pretty big fashion, if I might add. Yeah, I would say it was a blowout. Now
You
this
mean
was
what do you mean I would say it's a blowout? They won by like 32.
well, maybe not everyone would
They
consider
they
that a
won
blowout, Brooks.
they won
Anyway,
by like 28, something like that. They won by
okay,
28.
okay, yeah, they did win by 20. Yeah, yeah, it's a blowout. So Denver Nuggets didn't look that great. Nikola Jokic, what was it, 29 and 7?
Yeah,
Not
I had 20.
terrible, not
Yeah.
terrible, but like from the MVP, I want to see better. All right, my bad.
Okay, but is that really
Sorry.
on him? His team scored 93 points in total. He had 20 of them. He contributed, he had 7 assists as well. Like he
Yeah,
shot
he
5
did.
of 9 from the floor. That's above 50%. I mean,
But when you're that, I mean, to me, I think you need to be taking more shots. I mean, you're the best player on the team, unarguably. The ball, I mean, you can watch Nuggets basketball. The ball goes through Nikola Jokic. 9 shots for game 7 for an MVP. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not good enough.
his issue was
That's not good enough.
his issue was turnovers. He had 5 turnovers, but
Yeah,
Jamal Murray
that's
had
not good
four
either.
turnovers. I mean, that defense was great. Hey, Alex Caruso was killing that man.
Yep. Yep.
Like, like when I mean killing, I mean not in a good way. I mean fouling on every possession and getting away with it. I mean
hmm
that was ludicrous. So
Okay.
people were making the
It's
argument
it's
that
playoff
if you have
basketball,
that
baby.
reputation of a good defender, you get away with more. I don't know how true
Oh,
that
yeah,
is,
no. I think that
but
is actually I absolutely believe that's true. Draymond Green gets away with flagrant 2 fouls every day. Okay?
no, if anything, he gets. I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know about
did you not dude, you can I swear to God, there's probably a 10-minute like compilation clip of him just harassing the Rockets players from last series. All right? Like he gets away with everything.
it was a physical series. It's a physical game.
The only time they ever catch him is when he literally has another person in a headlock on the court. All right, that's the only time. It gets to the point they can't ignore it anymore.
Yo,
That's when it gets bad.
do you ever in life rewatch stuff from the past and be like, that's really not how I envisioned it, like, or that's not really how I saw it the first time. Like you give it a
Elaborate.
couple years or maybe a couple weeks, months, whatever. You just give it a futuristic time, and then you rewatch and go, "Wow, that changed my perspective." Somebody re-uploaded the Draymond punching Jordan Poole video, and everyone was like, "Wait, that was way worse than I thought it was."
I did see that. You're right. I did see that.
Like,
That's
that's
pretty funny.
great.
That is pretty funny.
But back to our scheduled broadcasting. The Oklahoma City Thunder are moving after 7 games to Western Conference Finals. Player of the match, of course, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 35 points. Chet Holmgren then saying, you know who you're talking to, the MVP.
Yep. That's
Aaron, they
my
still
MVP.
have not given out the MVP award.
They
I
do
know
that
SGA was
this
already
they
the
do that
favorite.
this week, I'm pretty sure.
I know SGA was already the favorite, but is the layup now solidified?
Well, considering that voting ended before this game, it won't go into any sort of context, or it will, depending on the results. And I think the only way it gets brought up is if Jokic wins. I mean, SGA wins MVP, no one's gonna have a problem with that, or at least people that have a problem with it aren't gonna refer to this game because he outplayed Jokic in the most pivotal game of the
It's a
series.
regular season award. It's
It
a
is a regular.
regular
You're
season
right.
award.
You're right. It is a regular season award, which is one Joel Embiid should have like 3 of. But regardless, we won't get into that today.
That arguably that might be the worst take we've heard on the entire airwaves of this broadcasting.
All right, we'll do it. We'll
Joel
do
Embiid
another. We'll do
Joel
another
Embiid
episode
robbed
dedicated just to that. We'll do
Joel
that
Embiid
another episode dedicated to that.
robbed.
I'll actually make the argument. The 1 year he won MVP was the 1 year he was in consideration and didn't deserve it.
Yeah, he didn't deserve it. And he cost me
Yeah.
$300. So I had Jokic at plus 300.
Yeah, suck
Like
it.
it was
But
such horseshit.
every year prior to that
No,
though, he
Jokic
deserved it
deserved
over
it more. The
Jokic. No,
numbers
no,
don't
no.
lie.
Yeah, you're right. The
The
numbers don't
numbers
lie. He
don't
was
lie.
robbed. He was
Jokic
absolutely
deserved it
robbed.
more.
Yeah,
Jokic deserved it
he
more.
can pass the ball better. Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of
because he
here.
contributes
Embiid
to
was a
his
better
team better.
scorer. He was a better defender. He was a better all-around player. He just okay, sorry, he wasn't as good as passing.
No,
Sorry.
no, no, no,
No, no.
no, no,
I will
no.
die on that
Part
hill
of being an
every
offensive player
day
is
of the
how you
week.
facilitate your team. And
Yeah,
Jokic is the best
And
facilitator
Embiid did just fine.
in
Sorry, he
NBA.
wasn't this
He
insane.
improved his
He wasn't this
defense,
insane. Yeah,
bro.
Jokic's improved defense is like 1/10 of Embiid's worst defense.
No,
Okay,
it's not. No, it's not.
Joel Embiid is a
No, it's not.
defensive player of the year caliber player when fully
No,
healthy.
you're
Yep,
lying to
yep.
yourself.
Nope, I'm
No,
not.
you're
I'm
not.
not. I'm not. I'm not. And
Bro, Joe Embiid's
I will forever die on the hill that a
yeah, because
fully
you're a
healthy.
biased
I
Sixers
don't
fan.
care.
You're a
I don't
biased
care.
Sixers
I
fan.
don't care. A fully healthy Joel Embiid is the most skilled center in basketball history, and that's what I will take to my grave.
Yeah, but too bad the best ability is availability, and that guy can't stay fit.
You know what?
So 28-point win for the Thunder. They move to now play the Timberwolves.
hmm
Baron, what do you got in that series? How many games? And of course, something we need to talk about:
Yeah.
Western Conference Finals MVP as well.
All right. Yeah. Let's break it down. So, or repeating listeners will know I've had the Thunder winning the finals since the NBA started this season. So,
It should be no
um,
surprise that you
yeah.
have the win.
But I do think this ends in 6 or 7 games, and I
Hmm.
would not be surprised if the Timberwolves won.
Why is that?
I do think this is the better series of the two. I think they both teams match up very well against each other. There's a lot of star power in the front court as well as the back court for both rosters. Both rosters are pretty deep, um, and both are led by, I would say, their star. Does SGA play point or shooting guard? Sorry, I know it's a little off
Point.
topic. Yeah, all right. They're both led by their all-star guard. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a good matchup for, like I said, for both teams. And I mean, we can look at the eastern side of the bracket. It seems pretty lopsided as of now. I know no one wants to count the Pacers out. We'll get to that in a minute. But
Hmm.
if I had to pick right now, I'm gonna go Thunder in 7, and obviously I'm gonna pick SGA is gonna be the final or the Western Conference MVP. But I would
But
not be surprised if it turns out to be Jalen Williams. He's been having a very
ooh,
good playoff.
he actually has not been having it. He had a good game seven, but that was game seven was the only second time he scored over 20 points in that 7 game series.
Who am I thinking of then?
Yeah, because he was shooting horrible from three and the field. So
Oh, am I
he had a
thinking?
really good game seven, but
No, it's not Alex
missed
Caruso. Who's the other one? Oh, it's
who?
Lou Dort. Lou Dort is who I meant. Sorry.
Torture chamber.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I
But
I
I don't think he'll win Finals MVP though.
no
I don't
no
think
no
he's going to
I
put
don't
up
think he
enough
will either.
offensive stats. But yeah, I guess I got him and Jalen Williams on the defensive effort confused.
I got the Timberwolves in seven. It's a crazy prediction. They're like plus 300. I don't care. Give me the plus cheese. Give me the excitement and the fun. The
All
best part
right,
about the
it could
NBA,
absolutely happen.
the product. First of all, the Thunder are known and historically not getting there. The
Yep.
Oklahoma City Thunder. That is
Hmm.
true.
Yep.
Second of all, the Thunder have a really good matchups, but the excitement and frenzy of the Wolves, man, the
Yeah.
excitement and frenzy with the
No.
rest, okay? The
Yeah.
Thunder are bruised and battered after a 7 game series. They got to play a day rest and then going in, they could be a little fatigued. I
No,
could see Minnesota
I actually
stealing
do think Minnesota
game
wins game
one.
one. I think Minnesota wins game one.
I think they steal game one.
I think
And
they
then
do as well.
I think also I have mine as Anthony Edwards, of course.
Fair
Guard versus
enough.
guard. He's going to get put in the Dortcher chamber or put against Jalen Williams. I think it will be the Dort. And I think he's going to break out of it. And I think he's going to really step up. It's going to be interesting the matchup between Randall and
Hmm.
probably Chet, in my opinion, and then Hartenstein and Rudy Gobert on the glass. Scares me because Gobert on the glass is really good, but Hartenstein's tenacity is really what's making me kind of
Hmm.
quirky about this whole thing.
Yeah, well, we kind of talked about this briefly before, but like, I mean, where do you use Chet Holmgren as a defender in this series? Sure, you could put him on Julius Randle. I know that's your recommendation. Me personally, I kind of like the Lou Dort to go on Julius Randle for the size, and then have Chet be that off-ball rim protector.
Does he
I think
go
that's
on like a does he go on like a McDaniels? Is that what you have him doing?
who Dort.
No,
Oh,
Chet.
Chet. No, I think Chet. I think Chet works as at his best as an off-ball defender, as a rim protector. I
Okay,
think
but at some point he has. So you're playing. Okay, he's either playing zone or he's on a
right.
man.
Right. So I think he needs to be taking whatever man is closest to the paint so he can play within the paint close
So
to the
Rudy
rim.
Gobert.
Yeah, I don't hate that. He might not have the
I think
strength,
that's
but he has the
horrible.
size. He has the size. You can have Isaiah
You
Hartenstein.
play
I mean,
Hardenstein, who's 7'1" and actually a big body.
okay, well then maybe
I
you
think
put
if I
Holmgren
think
at
for
the
your
three.
argument,
Well then maybe you move him at the three and let him
no, for
cover
your
who is
argument,
it?
your argument, you got to play him against Jaden McDaniels.
It was Jaden McDaniels the three for the Timberwolves, or is he
Yes.
the four? Yeah, okay, yeah, then that's fine. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think Chet Holmgren is at his best defensively as an off-ball defender. His ability to protect the rim. I mean, he can just get shoved around by Julius Randle. I mean, we know how he likes to move around in the paint. He can get moved around by Rudy Gobert. I mean, he's almost like Wemby in a way with the way he blocks shots. He's at his best when he's coming off, when he's not physically on you and he's able to get above you, get that leverage and knock the ball out of there. But I'm interesting to see if they do put him on Julius Randle or they play him as that off-ball defender role. Again, we'll see. Like we said, we've kind of discussed this before, but what makes this series so great is there's so much both of these teams can do offensively and defensively to try and stop the other one or outscore the other one. So again, I'll just reiterate, I think the series is going to be much better than the Eastern Conference one. I actually might tune in for a few games. I haven't watched that many this NBA season, but
Well, I've watched a lot,
I'm gonna try and
so
actually catch
I'm
this
excited.
series. I'm excited
I'm
for this
excited.
one, but
So this is a
yeah,
good
I mean,
series.
we'll see what happens. But
But the hey,
I'm gonna take the Thunder.
one of my things is if Dort gets burned, of course you have the most conventional NBA play besides the pick and roll, which is the drive and dish out to the corner, dish out to the wing. The Timberwolves live and die by the three, man. So if Jaden McDaniels can hit that, Julius Randle can hit that, hell, even if Mike Conley can hit it, I mean, they're gonna beat this Thunder team.
Yeah, I know,
You
absolutely.
got to do it,
But
man.
like I
68
said,
games Thunder
I
team in
think
the
the
regular season.
Thunder's I think the Thunder has a very solid defense that can really limit the amount of three pointers, or at least the amount of open 3-point shots the Timberwolves are going to get. So this is going to be a great series. You're taking the Wolves. I'm taking the
Give me the
Thunder.
Wolves, the
You've
excitement,
got
man. Just
Anthony
excitement.
Edwards. I've got SGA. Let's move to the East.
Let's go to the Eastern Conference. Indiana Pacers took out the Cavaliers in 5 games. The New York Knicks took out the Eastern Conference favorites in the Boston Celtics in 6 games. Of course, Jason Tatum went down with an Achilles injury. How much that played to the series? I think it played a lot in the series, to be honest. Maybe the Knicks still get the win, but having that man go down is really tough.
I mean, it's big, but they were down 3-1 without Jason Tatum. I didn't think they were coming back from that. I think if they were up, I think this is an interesting conversation to have because I think if the Celtics were up, losing Jason Tatum, I still think they could have won the series. I think that's how good that roster is. We've seen it. I mean, this is the
Yes.
reigning NBA champions. We know how loaded that roster is. We've seen the historical performances from the 3-point line and such, but. Now, losing Jason Tatum was big, but I wouldn't say that's the sole reason they lost that series. I mean, they were down 2-0 going back into Madison Square Garden. I
Right.
mean, maybe if they won game two and or game four and it was 2-2, again, I still think there's a chance for them to win that series. I ultimately think it was just being down 3-1 and then losing Jason Tatum.
Well, whatever it can be, the Celtics are now out.
Yeah.
We have the mecca of sports media, the mecca of sports, maybe New York, hosting, being the home-led team, the 3 seed going against the Indiana Pacers, the 4 seed. I quizzed you the last time, so I can't do it again. But this is the first conference finals appearance in 25 years for the Knicks. They're facing
Yeah.
the Indiana Pacers just like they did in 2000, which they lost. The Knicks are slight favorites in the series. Baron, I want to know who you got. Of course, how many games? Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
So for me, I would say probably Knicks, or not 5 or 6.
Mm,
I mean, you just look at the rosters, but this is a Pacers team you cannot count out, right? We've seen it last year, we've seen it this year. This is back-to-back Eastern Conference appearances from them this season as a 4 seed, last season as a 6 seed. A lot more impressive last year. They beat it last year. They beat who was it? A beaten down Bucks team, no Giannis, very limited Dame. And then in the second round, they beat the who was it last year? Who was it? The
the
Pacers. They
Pacers?
beat. Yeah, who did they beat last year in the second round? It was it the
What
Cat? No.
wasn't the
Was it the
Cavs?
Heat?
I don't think it was the Heat.
Because who did the Celtics play last? I don't remember the NBA playoffs last year. Anyway.
Celtics beat the Knicks last time.
Oh yeah, so then it had to be the Cavs.
So I
Yeah.
wonder who it
So
was.
regardless, Brooks is looking it up. We'll have
God,
that
my
with you in a
mind my
moment.
mind got cooked.
Anyway.
They beat the Knicks in 7. That's what it was.
Oh,
The
okay.
Cavs beat the Celtics beat the Cavs. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No,
I mean,
I
all right,
forgot that
well,
game.
This is
Forgot
a
that 7.
this is a Pacers roster who's beaten the Knicks squad before in the playoffs. Took them 7 games. That's of note. And I mean, for the most part, this is a Pacers roster that's ultimately the same from last season. I mean, not
Mm.
much changed if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a few players, but the same core is there. Same coach, all that. But I mean, we seen what the Knicks did this offseason. Two huge trades to bolster their roster, and one of them's been huge. I mean, Carl Anthony Towns is easily been their second best player this playoffs. You can make an argument for Mikal Bridges being the third, but again, I think Karl Anthony Towns kind of stands away or stands alone as that sort of Robin to Jalen Brunson's Batman. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I'm cheering for the Pacers. I can't stand seeing Knicks fans like this, but I think they're gonna win.
I think the Knicks they're a different team than what they were last year. Of course, with
Yeah.
that Mikal Bridges trade, which I think adds a lot more to their team. Funny
Hmm.
enough, I think I just need to bring this up because I now remember that 7-game series. The Pacers in game 7 shot an NBA record 67.1% from the field that game.
Mm.
2/3 of their shots. I remember this. They couldn't miss a shot. It felt like their starters. They had Neesmith shoot 100%, 8 from 8 from the field. Miles Turner shot 53%, or he shot 60%. Siakam shot 55. Halliburton, what the Halliburton shot 59%, and then Nemhard shot 80%. I mean, that team could not miss. They ran the Knicks out the Garden. Also, fell down in that series 2-0. They
That's
fell
true.
down 2-0. I was losing both games in the Garden. They fell down 3-2 and they still won in 7. Now, just to let you know, teams that fall down 3-2 lose 82% of the time. So they did a lot there, and they're a team that can catch heat, they can catch fire, just like they have this playoffs.
Yeah. No, this is definitely not a team to count out. You can
Good on you.
easily, yeah, but you can easily look at the rosters of both teams and say, yeah, this next team is far and away much better than this Pacers roster. You can look at position to position. I think the Knicks have a better player at almost every position. But this pace, I mean, you could say that about the Pacers and their last opponent with the Cavs. I mean, they just beat them in what? Was it
Yeah,
6 games, 5 games? So, like, yeah.
big 5 games right there.
Granted, the Cavs were dealing with some injuries at the beginning of that series, and the Knicks are coming in fully healthy. But I'm just saying, do not count out the Pacers. But
Do
I'm gonna
not,
take,
no, do
I'm gonna
not
take the Knicks, and I'm gonna take the sneaky Eastern Conference MVP. I'm gonna take Karl Anthony Towns.
stealing. I had Cat, as you know, from our conversation,
Oh,
but
did
I
you?
feel like
I
no,
swear
no,
to
you're
God,
good.
I
You're
swear to God,
good.
I did not remember
You're
that.
you're good. I'll switch it up. Give me give me OG Ananobi, man.
No, just say Jalen
OG's
Brunson.
gonna do something.
Just say Jalen Brunson. I'll say
No,
you know
I
what
don't want to
you
pick
no
JB.
take
JB
take
basic.
your cat pick back. You can have it. I didn't remember you said that. I'll say Jalen
Okay,
Brunson.
I'll take Cat then. I'll
There you
take
go.
Cat pick. Okay,
Because
but
OG Anunoby, really?
here's something I'm gonna find it. What's wrong with that?
I
For
mean,
Ann
he's
Hathaway.
good, but he's not
For
putting up
Ann
the
Hathaway.
offensive. He's not putting up the offensive stats to win a
You never
Finals
know, but you
MVP.
never know.
You're
In a
right. You
seven
know
game
what?
series, in
You're
a
right.
7 game
You are
series,
never. You are. You're right. You
in a
never
seven
know.
game series. So,
But
like
it's
for
OG
example, with
Anunoby.
the
He will not be
Iguodala,
putting up the offensive stats
So
for that. No, 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 no.
let me say this. Let me say this.
Yeah. What is it?
I think what this is going to be interesting is because the Pacers on the floor, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
Nemhard, Neesmith, Halliburton,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
What could be interesting here with those three on the floor? Jalen Brunson isn't the best defender in the world,
No,
okay?
really
But
not.
you have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. We both know for their defense, okay?
Yep.
You got to play. I think you play one of them on Halliburton. You play Jalen Brunson on Nemhard, which is I know because Nemhard can catch fire and still shoot very well, but Halliburton is if he gets hot, he's going. He's going, man. He's our lead ball handler.
Or
Put a Mikal Bridges on him. Put an OG Anunoby
how
on
about
him.
this? How about you put Josh Hart on him?
No, because Josh Hart's going to be on Siakam.
Do you think?
Yeah, because he plays the
Why?
4. He
Well,
goes against the big
why
bodies
wouldn't you, but why wouldn't you want OG Anunoby on them?
because that's how Tibbs runs it. Is Josh Hart's
All
kind
right,
of
you know what?
stature? He runs
Sorry.
up against the body, so
How tall is Josh Hart? I
he's not
swear he
he's
cannot
not
be
that.
taller than 6'7".
He's like 6'7". Yeah, 6'8", six
Let's look.
seven. So
How tall is Josh Hart?
wow, this is Siri. This is gonna be like an ad right here.
He is 6'4". He is 2 inches taller than me.
He plays like he's 6'6". I'm not gonna lie. So
And hold on. How tall is OG Anunoby?
he's like 6'7", is he not?
I think he's 6'8". Oh, no,
What
he's
is he?
6'4" too.
Bro, what? Dude, they play so much bigger than they actually are. Dude, we're
Okay.
cooked. We're cooked. Anyways,
Who's the other one? How tall is Mikal Bridges?
he can't be 6'4".
Yeah, he's not. He's 6'6". But that's
Okay,
like
but the height
That's
doesn't
how tall
matter.
Michael Jordan was, and he
They're
played
gonna play
shooting
Josh
guard.
Hart and Siakam. Okay, I just know
Okay,
what they're gonna do.
whatever. Yeah,
Okay,
all right. Yeah, you know
because
what? You're
Josh
right.
Hart can't
You
really
know.
guard the perimeter like that compared to OG and Mikal. So
Okay.
they're gonna put him on Siakam. Of course, you're
All
gonna
right.
have the center matchups. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I mean, but Karl Anthony Towns has proven he can step up in the playoffs.
now
Um,
I've picked what I
at least
want.
defense. Sorry, I meant defensively. Sorry.
Yeah, I've picked what I want the finals to be because I think Minnesota, right? New York. Okay. Minnesota, I know, is not a big market. All right. Neither is OKC, but I know Minnesota is not a big market. But you have you have a big time player, a big ego, and Anthony Edwards in the Garden, right? That creates that historic ego versus New York, right? Reggie Miller, New York. Trey Young, New York, right? You have
Hmm.
these basketball matchups that we talk about. And I think Anthony Edwards would be another staple in that conversation. Now, I don't mean to be that guy, but I don't think
Hmm.
nobody really goes Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, that ego, great ego, right?
Yeah. No, no, no. Yeah,
There's a
we
final,
know
but
what
in
you're saying.
Minnesota, you
Yeah, we
have
know
that.
what you're saying.
Shea doesn't talk a lot. You want a talker like Anthony Edwards, you want to put him in the Garden. That would be
Yeah.
great for NBA ratings.
I don't, the only reason I think the Thunder should win is because I think that'll set the new blueprint for an NBA team, and I think this is the correct way to build NBA teams, right? You you draft well, you hold on to that capital, you get rid of the stars when it's time for them to go. You don't hold on any longer than you need to. Like if you look at the past, let's say 5 years, right? Ever since, let's put it this way, ever since the Thunder traded Paul George to the Clippers, I don't think they've made a bad move from an organizational standpoint, right?
Mm.
They pick up SGA, who is a young guy they were super high on for aging Paul George. They get a ton of draft picks with that, and you see what they do with those draft picks. They repackage them for other tools, or they draft well. You see the young picks they have: Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams. All of those guys were people they picked up from the draft. So I don't I don't think this is a great comparison, but when I think of Sam Presti as an NBA GM, I compare him to Howie Roseman. I think they both do the job the correct way, the way a successful general manager should operate, right? And again, Sam Presti hasn't won anything, and that's why I kind of hope he does, because I think this will set the new blueprint for what it takes to build a good NBA team instead of just going out and building these crazy super teams in the offseason.
I'm just saying that's the only super team in here you could say is the New York Knicks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only
That's why
one.
I hope they lose.
I don't think the Nuggets are a super team,
No,
right? I
no,
I
you can't
I think
argue that. They drafted
I think
Jamal
the
Murray, they
Knicks
drafted
I
Nikola
think the
Jokic.
Knicks, you can make an argument, aren't even a super team. They're just
No,
a
you absolutely
just
can.
no, because they didn't get like top name free agents. If you think about it, right?
Okay,
If
okay.
you think about it,
I
Jalen
see what
Brunson
you're saying.
signed. He wasn't a top name free agent, right?
I
The
see
only
what
thing
you're
you could
saying.
argue is like the cat trade, which they had to give up some pieces, right?
Yeah.
And the
Mikal Bridges trade.
Mikal Bridges trade, right?
Okay, okay.
But
You know
even
what?
getting
I
OG,
won't
that's
fight
not
you on
a
that.
big like a big three or a big
No,
four.
he's not. He's not. But you look at their starting five, they didn't draft a single one of those players.
But
That's my whole point.
okay,
And
but still, it's not like they just dished out $300 million to each single one of them, or
no,
got like a
man.
big
Right.
consensus three, right?
No, exactly.
So,
And they again, I'll give them their credit. They took a shot on Jalen Brunson after his breakout. They were willing to give him a lot at the time. People thought that was an overpay, the $104 million, but I would say now
now
that's probably
now he's
now he's
taking a pay
underpaid.
cut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
now
he's
he's taking a pay
underpaid.
cut.
So
So,
it's like they saw what he could be. They took that chance. I think that was a great signing. I was a fan of it at the time. I really liked the Carl Anthony Towns trade. I thought that was good because they weren't able to retain Isaiah Hartenstein. When that happened, I was super pumped because Mitchell Robinson can't hold down Joel Embiid by himself. But so Carl Anthony Towns in there to help him, that's a different story. So, but
mhm.
Carl Anthony Towns not only has kind of filled in that role that they missed from Hartenstein, his defense has been, I won't say phenomenal, but it's been good this year. But his offensive production this year is, like we said, I mean, to me, this whole season, he's been the Robin to Jalen Brunson's Batman. And I think that's what a lot of Knicks fans thought that Mikal Bridges was going to be when they traded for him. Looking back at that, I don't think you make that trade as the Knicks front office.
Mhm.
Did you need Mikal Bridges to be in this position? Maybe,
I think so.
maybe. Would you rather have those first 5 round picks though? or 5 first round picks though.
If you win a championship, no, you wouldn't have that. If you're New York and you win a championship, no. You could even make the argument this first time Eastern Conference in a quarter century, and game one and game two, how that end against the Celtics? Mikal Bridges steal.
You're
I'm
right.
sorry. I
All right.
know two moments, but
Fair
those two
enough.
moments are
No,
massive.
you're right. You're right. No, you're right. That's fair. And so yeah, I think that's a fair, but I do think this is a fair conversation to have
It
because
is
you
if they
look at what he's you because you have to look at what he's done to get them to this point, and it hasn't been as monumental as
his
everyone thought
but
it
his
was.
role isn't that role. He's not the first guy or the second option either.
So
So
then, but then that begs the question though, Brooks, was that worth 5 first round picks?
if
Because
you
you could have probably found a solid third or fourth option depending on who they go to at that point
he's young,
for
gives him
maybe
more
two.
years. We're talking, Baron. We're talking the Celtics are out of the picture next year, Baron.
How so?
Jason Tatum's out the entire year.
You're right.
Now, do you trust Jalen Brown to be the guy to lead them? Jalen Brown, Peyton Pritchard.
Well, didn't Jalen Brown lead them to a finals championship?
No.
I think he did. So
Because you no,
let's not
you
count the
stop. You
Celtics
stop.
out.
No,
Let's
you
not
stop.
count
You're
them out. All
Jason
right,
Tatum BS need to
they're
stop.
still a very good team. Jason Tatum's a great player. I'm not gonna say he's
No, you can
bad,
stop there. You can stop there. It wasn't Jalen Brown
but
in the finals. Jason Tatum's not there.
but
They don't go to the finals, Jason.
but I don't. I mean, I think his production can be replaced. He's not a consistently good player that's bringing the Celtics success.
Dude, there's
His
no way
production
you say this BS, bro. He's a
can be
top
picked
10
up.
player in the NBA.
All right. Um,
What do you
let's stop
mean?
talking
He's a
about this.
top 10 player in the
They got
NBA.
they got eliminated. Let's stop talking about them.
But
We're
okay,
talking
this
about
is
the
the point
Knicks
about
here.
Mikal, right? If
Hmm.
they win the Eastern Conference Finals and win the finals, that's already solidified, right? Let's say
Yeah.
they don't do that. You go to next year's East, the
Oh, they're
East
not
is
winning
wide
next
open.
year. They're not winning next year.
Who's winning next year? The East is wide open.
Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Ace Bailey, baby.
Ow, my knee hurts. My knee hurts.
Oh, wait.
Game for the
I
freaking
forgot the
season.
rookie of the year, Jared
Ow,
McCain.
my knee hurts. Oh, I'm Joel. I need injections again. I should retire. No,
You
they're
know what?
not
That's
winning
fine.
this.
We're gonna find the hidden stem cells, and he's gonna be fine.
They're
Don't.
not win. The East is wide open for the New York Knicks. If
That's
you
what
really think about it,
that's what you think, bud.
unless it's the Cavaliers, it's the New York Knicks. I mean, come on.
Hold on now.
Or if the Hawks trade for Giannis, then it's New York.
All right. Okay, now we're getting
No,
crazy.
you said Jason Tatum's not a top 10 player. That might be worse.
No, that has some
Yes.
merit. That has some
That
merit.
has no merit.
It may
That has
okay.
no merit.
It may be a little extreme, but
No, it has zero merit.
there's some weight to that.
Zero merit.
There's some weight to that.
Zero merit.
An argument could be made. He's not the best player on his own team.
And that argument would be wrong. I mean, we
No.
had this debate on the pod a week ago about playoff stats. And you're saying Jalen Brown is better, and Jason Tatum averaged 8 more points, 4 more rebounds, 3 more assists,
That's
shot better from
again,
the field.
and I'm pretty sure in your words, it's because he played more his rookie year. So
No, Jason Tatum played 2 less games rookie year. He actually played just because he played
no, it
better.
was
Yeah,
okay.
19 games for Brown, 17 for Tatum. But Brown
I
averaged
thought it was
5
the other way
points, and
around.
Tatum added 14.
Well, what were their minutes per game?
But these were averages. That's
I
what I'm
know
saying.
it's averages. What is
The
their
rookie
average
average brings it
minutes per
down.
game?
But even if you take out the rookie year for Brown and you still include Jason Tatum's rookie year, he still has more.
Okay, well, let me put it this way: when it matters, who stepped up?
Jason Tatum.
No,
Look at the
Jalen
game
Brown.
he tore his Achilles. He had 40, like
Okay, I'm not
5.
talking about this season. I'm talking about last season.
Game 7 against the Philadelphia 76ers.
That was
51
2 seasons
points.
ago. That was two
51.
seasons
He
ago.
steps up when it
2 seasons.
matters.
Yeah, okay. He's had 3 good playoff games out of like
No, he's had
30.
like, what's a good playoff game to you?
For Jason
55
Tatum
points?
standards, for a top 10 player, I want to see him leading his team in points. I want to see him have a good amount of rebounds
He
and a
does.
good amount of
He averages
assists.
like 9 rebounds in
And
a
he's only
playoff
done that like
series.
4 times in the
No,
playoffs.
he hasn't. Look at the. I'll pull up the game logs.
Yeah, every single game. I want to see.
All right,
All
I'll
right, we're
pull up
not
the
doing
game.
this right now, but we'll
Bro,
have it ready for
this
next
can't be
episode. How about
real,
that?
bro.
How about for next episode? You can go
All
look.
right, fine.
There's games Jalen Brown scores more than him in his series. There's games where Peyton Pritchard scores more than him. Derek White, Drew Holiday. I mean, almost every
No,
single
not Drew
player.
Holiday.
Yes,
No,
Drew Holiday. You can go
no,
look at
you're
last
just
season
lying.
on their finals run. He had
You're just lying.
one game in the finals where he scored the most points on his team. One
You're
game.
point.
Yeah, no. All right, let's move on.
Lying for the
I
fun
don't.
of
I'm
it.
not. I'm not
Crazy.
talking about Jason Tatum anymore.
Yeah, because
We're
you're wrong.
no,
You're
I'm
just
not.
wrong
We're
about it.
talking about Jalen Brunson's Knicks versus Tyrese Halliburton's Pacers. And bottom line is, Knicks are going to win in five. All right, that's the Eastern Conference done. Who are you saying? You're
Five is
going. You're
crazy.
going Wolves Knicks.
For the fun of it, for the market, man.
All right, I'm gonna go Thunder next. Who's our
This is.
Finals MVP?
We'll get to that, but my Finals MVP. Oh, I don't know who would win. I gotta watch these teams
Yeah.
play.
All right,
So,
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
but
enough.
if I had to pick, I'm going Jalen Brunson. I think the Knicks take it. So,
Fair enough. I'm gonna say this though. Regardless of the outcome of these conference championships, the West is walking home with the cup
bro,
this year.
Jason Tatum this playoffs,
I'm not
28.1,
talking about this
28. No,
playoffs.
shut up. Shut up. 28.1, 12 rebounds a game, 5.5 assists, 2 steals. What else does this man need to do?
Well, he clearly needs to get healthy and lead his team to a win because they're in Cancun right now. But
Yeah, it's not his fault.
well, I think earlier it said.
42
I think
points,
earlier you
22
said it
points,
was.
23 points. In the first
Um,
round, 35, 37, 36.
Again, I'm not
I
talking
mean,
about this year. I don't care
8
about this year.
rebounds, 14 rebounds, 9 rebounds, 14 rebounds, 10 assists,
I'm not
16 rebounds,
I'm not
14
talking
rebounds,
about this
9
season. I'm
rebounds.
not talking about this season. I'm talking about last year when they won the finals. He not once in those finals games, no, one game he was the leading scorer. But
Okay. Game 5 when they won the NBA finals, he was a leading scorer in all game with 31 points. He led all scorers.
hmm
The next player on the team was Jalen Brown with 21. If
hmm
you go to I'm going to each game right here. Game 3, he had 31 points. He led his team in scoring.
I
I
bet
mean, like,
two games.
yeah, 2 out of the 5 games. That's good.
Yeah,
And
but
also had
not top
11
ten good.
rebounds, 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 11 assists, 2 steals. I mean, like, what do you want? 2 blocks? Like, what can this man do?
I mean, I'm sorry. I think Jalen Brown had a
Against
better
the
finals
Pacers, they swept
performance.
him 26, 36, 36, 23, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 and 5. Against the Cavs, 25, 33, 33, 25, 18.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, no,
Come on.
Jalen
I
Brown.
mean, what are we doing here?
Jalen Brown's better. All right. That's gonna end our NBA coverage for the episode.
What else do we have to cover today? That's it.
RIP the Phillies. Their season's over.
We can
We're
talk
looking. We're
talk
looking for.
shop with baseball.
Well, I was just gonna say the Phillies season's over. That's it. I don't care about baseball anymore.
Is there anything else you want to add other than that?
Um, Go Birds.
That'll be another episode of Nothing Agreed. Thank you for listening. When the Falcons take over next season, you heard it first. Michael Penix Jr. is taking over.
No, 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 no,
And
no, 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 no,
what?
no. We are not ending on that.
What?
That is absolute blasphemy.
Dude, wait. Okay, if you look at Drake London's stats with Michael Penix throwing the ball, he averages, if you put it to 17 games, he averages 2,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. I mean, like, what else can this man do?
Let's get to the playoffs first. How about that? All right, you can wrap it up now.
We're going to win the division next year.
Let's get past the Bucks
Who's
first.
challenging us in the division? We
Let's
beat
get
the
past
Bucks.
the Bucks first.
We are getting past the Bucks.
We'll see, bud. Yeah.
All right. That'll be another episode of Nothing Agreed. Thank y'all for listening, and peace.